We'll start here on the PCH with a few parking spots over in the area. If you can't find any here, you can park down at the Ragged Point Inn. We'll head up this trail, gaining about 1,900 feet of elevation, where we reach the ridge in this T. We'll turn right at the T, and it'll be much easier going with a little up and down, but mostly just amazing views in all directions. At this juncture, we'll turn right and head down this ridge line, where we'll then cut through this little valley over to the far ridge. From here, we'll head down the last ridge in Big Sur that goes all the way to the ocean. After passing a couple houses, we'll cross the PCH, come to a small parking lot, and meet up with our ride. Here's the basic route. The trail starts off pretty steep and we gain altitude quick. Before long, the views have opened up and we have the Pacific Ocean and the Ragged Point Inn down below. It doesn't take long to get away from the highway and start finding some solitude. The trail's been offering wonderful views of the ocean. At this point, it's getting to be that airliner view where when you see something out by the horizon, you can't tell if it's a tanker ship or an airline. Now the trail's going to turn a bit. We're going to head away from the ocean and it's going to go back in the canyon where we won't get as many views until we reach the top. Finally, we made it to the ridge. Here a road goes off this way. Who knows where that goes? And one goes off this way. That's where we're gonna go. When I had been up here in the past, this old tree was standing and it was beautiful all by itself, silhouetted by the sky and the ocean. Of course, that was about 3 years ago, and it looks like something happened because it is gone. See that blue thing down there? I've gone down there to see what it was in the past,
and it's a hatchery for tadpoles. I know, crazy, right? Why would that be here? That makes no sense. But when you look just to the left, there's a lot of trees in a deep ravine. And what I found was there's a small spring in the top of that ravine right over here. And there's a little pipe, a hose that runs down over to there, making sure there's water. And I'm assuming they hatch here and make their way down below to where the water flows and then populates all the way down to the bottom. Not sure who set that up, but it's kind of an interesting thing to find. Another interesting thing up here is right over here, there's a little fenced in area right here. It's really small, and it kind of begs the question, what is it doing there? Why is it fenced in? Kind of too small to keep animals, and why would you want to pen them in way up here anyway? Another mystery of the mountain. Next, we're heading up here, where I think there's something interesting to see in those trees. Several years ago, I was here in the middle of the hot summer. And when I got up to this point, and there were very few trees, all I wanted to do was find some shade to have my lunch in. Well, there wasn't a lot of choices here at the top. So I moseyed over here and looked for a spot to sit down. Something that just looked comfortable, something with a nice view maybe. So I worked my way over here, as I'm doing now, to this big flat rock area. And as I sat here looking around, I realized there's an interesting feature to this rock that I hadn't noticed. It's full of mortar holes. Kind of hard to see when it's full of water, but it goes down about almost 10 inches probably, and is a place where the Native Americans sat and ground up their acorns. Most likely the oak tree nuts. But here's another one. There's another one here. There's a little one, like a beginning of one there. Another one here. Another one right here. Another one here. And here. Here. Looks like the one of them over at the edge. And they're all kind of spaced out. Sort of how people could sit next to each other on this rock, spending time together, talking and hanging out with this wonderful view while grinding up the nuts from the oak trees, which they would use to make a flour and make sort of a bread, I think. So they're not very exciting looking, but they are pretty interesting, and it's real life evidence today of prehistoric man's existence here in Big Sur.
Always good to take a minute, have a seat, catch your breath, and contemplate where you are.
Back to the hike. We'll be joining up here with this 2-track, following the ridgeline south. until we get to the appropriate place where we will drop down to the coast. We've been following the ridge line, looking left into the valley and right into the sea, and we finally come to the point where the trail is turned. Heading now towards the ocean, we start our descent. Seems like everywhere you turn in Big Sur, beautiful views are everywhere. As with gates, open them and then close them. And it's back like we found it. All right, down we go. One track winds through the grasses down the hill from ridge to ridge. Not quite sure how much farther I have to go, but it's a lovely walk. I've seen pretty much nobody, not even cows on this one. I saw one deer earlier, but he didn't come over to say hi. Not too far to go now, just a bunch of grassy hills down to the coast. Duck through a few trees, and hopefully my ride will be waiting. This hike is kind of a loop, except for about a mile section along the PCH that's kind of not very pedestrian friendly. So if you can get a ride, that's much better than trying to walk it. I walked it the first time, and I'm glad I'm not this time. We've just hit 5.5 miles in this hike, and it's going along well. It's been a lot of cool things to see, and since the trail kind of started off steep for the first 2 miles, we really got views fast, and they just kept coming and coming and coming, which is, you know, something Big Sur is wonderfully known for. This tree fell on my trail. Oh, let's look at this. Huh. Okay. It's like a tree fell on the trail. Not cool. What the heck? This is a heck of a mess. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess I'll make it through. This is nuts. All right, back on track. Well, the sun is starting to get at a pretty low angle, so I best be bidding everyone a fond farewell and adieu. From Big Sur, California, thanks for joining me. Hope to see you next time.